Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, August 6, 2020. We're again in the final hour of the trading day. Final hour of trading day is my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. During the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are the ones in control of the price. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They are dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, and they start taking control away of the price movement from the day traders and the algorithms. So I do consider them smart money, and I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing. So thank you all for coming. Always nice to see everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Evan is here. Hey, Evan, nice to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. I always look forward to this time of the day. Look forward to seeing everyone. I think we have a great group, and I really appreciate you spending the time. Dan is also here. Hi, Dan. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day as well. Well, the market is on fire. The Dow Jones is up 151 points, up 0.5%. The NASDAQ is up 100 points, up 0.9%. And the S&P is up 18 points, up 0.55%. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have one day trade today is all that I'm going to share with you. After that, we are going to take a look at some of your positions. I see some of them are doing very well, so we're going to take a look at those. Then we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a little bit about trader psychology, get away from charts, talk about, in my opinion, the most important part of trading, which is the psychological part. After that, I have gone through my watch list. Give me 1 second. Come on, here you go. Sorry, Katie decided she wanted in right this second. I've gone through my watch list, and I've also gone through the results of Kamal's scanner, so we're going to be going through those. I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. First requirement, I want to make sure I have a good confluence or combination of indicators. I look at each indicator lining up, triggering as a group of buyers. You'll put yourself in the position to have the best chance to have a profitable trade if you're within the company of as many other buyers as possible. So I look for a combination or confluence of indicators lining up. Step 2, or requirement number 2, even if you have a good confluence, you have to make sure there's a good risk to reward ratio. There are a lot of setups today that I've seen this good confluences, but the risk to reward ratio is not there. I have a requirement 2 to 1. If I am going to be able to risk $100 to the downside, I want to be able to make at least 200 or more to the upside. And then number 3, please keep in mind your correlation, how many stocks you have in the same industry. They generally move up or down together, so you're either going to have a really great day or a really bad day. In my opinion, the best way to diversify is to have different stocks and different types of industries, and also diversify outside of stocks like oil, gold, bonds, silver. So those are my 3 requirements. I'll go through the list. If I find something that looks decent, we'll put it over in the possible candidate category. After that, at the end of the day, I'm going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, analyzing the confluences of indicators lining up. Also spending time on the risk to reward to see if it makes sense. And then I'll take the trade if I find one. When the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you have any stock symbols you'd like me to look at, please let me know. If there are any stock symbols you'd like me to look at and you think it would be helpful to get my opinion before the market closes, please go ahead, put them in the chat, put an asterisk or a star by them so that I know that they're time sensitive, and I'll do my best to get to them and take a look. And then lastly, if you have any additions today or subtractions to the board, if you have any new entries or exits you'd like me to keep record of up here, please wait till after the close so that the pressure's off, market's closed, and then I'll be able to get them taken care of correctly. Okay, so that's the plan for today. So hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, Miko25 is here. Hi, Miko. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Quad is here. Hey, Quad. Nice to see you. Good afternoon, Greg and group. David is here. Hey, David. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Kamal is here. Hey, Kamal. Good speaking with you today. Thank you for the results of the scan. Bob is here. Hi, Bob. Nice to see you. Quad Racer says, Beyond was a perfect example of good earnings, but was still down the next day. I did luckily get out the very small loss. Lesson learned. That is true. You just never know. Even if you have good earnings, the stock can go down. Sometimes the stock can have bad earnings and can go up. You never know. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. Still cleaning up. Oh, well, I'm glad. Sounds like you're safe, but sorry you have to do the cleanup work. Was it really bad, Frank? Quad says, glad to hear you're safe, Frank. I agree. Thanks, Quad. David says, yes, good to know nothing happened to you. Frank has a poem for us. As the market climbs the wall of worry, traders weigh the situation like a dutiful jury. We read the signals and take our cues, but the one thing we tune out is our personal views. Boy, that is true. Having personal views, I'll tell you, in my experience, just the worst way to trade. Really, really, really. As the market climbs the wall of worry, traders weigh the situation like a dutiful jury. We read the signals and take our cues, but the one thing we tune out is our personal views. Boy, we should all read that poem every day before the market opens. Really great, Frank. Thank you so much, my friend. Always appreciate the time and energy and effort that you put into the poems and helping out the podcast. Brian says, hi everyone, have a question about something you mentioned yesterday about a stock. Please clarify the following. Okay. All right. You type that in and I'm going to get to, we had a hurricane poem yesterday, Kamal, I think, right? All right. Let's go through. Here is Domino's Pizza, DPZ. Gary, Brian, and myself did buy Domino's Pizza here back on the 4th of August. We had a higher low, or we had a higher low V1 with a rejection of the -1 HER channel. Went up, went down, held the halfway point. The next day went right back up. Moving average crossover, I bought it here at 391.76. It's 393.57, up a little bit today. Hasn't really participated too much in this rally, but thankful that it's up at least. Stitch Fix, another one that did not participate in the rally. David, Gary, M, Kamal, and myself, we did buy it. This looked like a good setup. Rejection of the third ATR channel, rejection of the 250-day moving average, rejection of the 200-day moving average, V1. Next day it went up. I know that it did hit a profit target. One, anyway, inside bar yesterday. Today, well, it did test the halfway of the washout bar on the V1. It also did test the 200-day moving average. I don't like that it's down today. I'm considering selling this at the end of the day, but I'll just have to see. I'm kind of torn because its relative strength is really bad, but the test of the 200-day was good. Okay. SPY. Well, real quick, I do buy the SPY at the end of the day. Every day I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based upon a back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. two approaches they tested since 1993. First approach, buy at the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9% return. If you do the opposite, this is the one I use, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell it first thing the next morning. This approach, plus 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's true with any trading approach, but if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be towards something that has a good back-tested results. The blue line's the buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Orange line is buy the morning, sell the afternoon. You can see there's a clear difference. The blue line, all it's done over time has gone up. Although there are significant drawdowns, so that is something that you have to consider. I use a small position size with this every day. So I did buy SPY yesterday at the close 332.11, but I did sell right near the low, but that's just the approach, right? 332.11, I sold at 331.52, so a little less than $1 gain. But that's how it goes. Sometimes you're in the phase with the market overnight, and sometimes you're not. Did have a nice overnight gap the previous day, but I will be buying this again today at the close. WDAY. Well, Kamal and I bought workday yesterday. We closed above the 50 RSI. We closed above the 50-day moving average. Currently, it is down 0.39%. It looks like right now it's below the 50 RSI, and it looks like it's below the 50-day moving average. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and just take a loss on this. Adobe. All right. Kamal, David, and I did buy Adobe back here on 730. Higher low V1, 520 crossover, bought it at 438.89. It is now 463.34. Two profit targets today, up 3.08%. Did move above my 1 ATR channel, move 1 ATR for my entry, so this goes into trailing stop mode. But anyway, steady as she goes. This has been a really, really nice trade. Fast. Steve, Frank, Miko, Kamal, and myself did buy Fast. Steve bought it. Kamal bought it at 31.65. The rest of us bought it when we had the 520 crossover here at 33.99. Just kind of moved sideways. Did have some moments where it surged up. I always take profits when it surges up. Up nicely yesterday. Profit target today is up 0.5%, a little more than 0.5%, but no profit targets yet. So kind of a bummer day. I mean, with the market being up so much, and Domino's Pizza being down, and Stitch Fix being down, overnight SPY trade loss, and workday loss. Glad for Adobe, glad for Fast. I did take one intraday trade. Really, wasn't really kind of an intraday trading kind of day today. It was just a one-way street. I did buy SPY back here earlier in the day. We had this sideways motion. We had this V1. We bounced off the 30 bullish engulfing bar. I did buy it here at 26.93, and the next bar paid off for me. It just went roaring up here. I did close the position. I didn't put the line. I did close the position here when we had this big up move and reversal back down. Sold it at 27.12. So I bought it at 26.93, sold it at 27.12. So that is the only day trade that I have had. All right, let me see here. Gary M is here. Hey, Gary, good to see you, my friend. Boston, hey, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're having a good day. Frank says, thanks, Kamal. Two-tone. Hey, two-tone. Let's take a look. TMUS. I don't really see anything here. I really don't. We're above the 1 ATR channel. Technically, I guess we had a V1, but it didn't wash out very much. MACD is positive, which is good. We're above 50 RSI, but I don't see anything that just jumps off the page for me right here. Steve Burns, hey buddy, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Hope Holly and the dogs are doing well. Thank you so much for coming. Always nice to have you. Always an honor and privilege. Hello everyone. The bull is still slowly climbing higher. Yes, it is. Brian says, you mentioned a stock yesterday and said the dividend was coming up and it affected the stock price. Please take a few minutes and clarify how dividend and stock price affect how to trade. Well, if the next day the stock gives you a dollar dividend, Brian, so you get $1 per share, you'll get the dividend, but generally the price of the stock will fall by the same amount that it is giving the dividend for. So you can't just buy a stock at 50, get $1 dividend, and the stock still be at 50. Generally, right? Sometimes it's weird, but most of the time, if the stock's paying $1 dividend, you'll get the $1 dividend, but the stock will be $1 cheaper the next day, so it all evens out. Does that make sense, Brian? Okay, now let's take a look at everybody else's stocks here. David and Gary. This was a good setup. A bunch of us took back here 55.40 on JCOM, moved up nicely. I got out yesterday when it rejected the 50-day moving average. David and Gary stuck in, and here they are. Give me 1 second, please. And then clean up something over here. All right. So David and Gary are still in. It is above the 50 RSI now, so that is positive. But that was a good trade for us, and I'm glad David and Gary got a little bit more from that today. Johnson & Johnson, Frank, Gary, David, Bob. I hope I got these all right. I did buy Johnson & Johnson back here on the 3rd. Nice return to value V2. Initially went down. Gapped up nicely yesterday. I didn't like that it had a close below the open and rejected the 1 ATR channel. So I went ahead and locked in profits. Here it is a bit down today. Looks like about break even on the rest. WBA, Quad and Karen, and I actually bought WBA back here. Nice false breakout to the downside and a V2. I believe I got out here. It just wasn't doing anything. It wasn't moving, so I just used the time stop. Is down a little bit today. Looks like about just break even for Karen and Quad. Procter & Gamble. Brian did buy Procter & Gamble at 128.30. Down a little bit today, but still nicely in the money. Bob did buy Nordstrom. Had a nice trade on Nordstrom here at 14.21. V2 false breakout to the downside. 14.21. It's down about 1.5% today, but still nicely in the money for Bob. CarMax. All right, Steve and Bob did buy CarMax with a 520 crossover at 94.90. It is now 154 for Steve and Bob. Very, very nice trade. IWM. Steve did buy IWM back here on the 17th at 146.16 with the 1030 crossover. And this is beautiful trade. He bought it at 146.16. It is 153.90. Cisco. Wait, I know we have somebody in Cisco. Oh, sorry, I may have deleted who that was. I apologize. Shoot. Well, if anybody does have that, let me know. Kamal did buy work at 29.45. It is now at 30.39. Very good. PayPal, Bob and Brian bought PayPal back here on 174.10 with this higher low V1, and it is now 203.33. Unbelievable. Very nice. RBA. Glenn, beautiful trade on Ritchie Brothers 46 or 44.60. It's now 48.85. So that's a wonderful trade, up 1.26% today. FEYE, Brian bought FEYE at 15.44. It's 15.39, so very slightly underwater. Gold, Gary, this trade's amazing. The 520 cross on gold bought at 162.80. It is now 193.54. Unbelievable. Very, very nice trade, Gary. I know you've been scaling out, but I believe you still have some. Facebook, Brian, look at Facebook today, up 6.87%. Looks like Brian bought some here at 235 and 242.98. It is 262.24. So that is awesome. Amazon, Brian bought Amazon at 30.57. It is 32.43. That is fantastic. GM also bought some calls, expiring 8/21, 3,400. So nice trade there. LCII, Glenn bought LCII at 127.04. It is 124.41. So down 2.88% today. Cent, Glenn bought at 39.02. It is now 42.77, so that's amazing. Brian bought TTD at 4.56 even. It is now 4.82, down a little bit today, but still nicely positive. Brian also bought SHW at 648.69. It is 657. So nice trade there on Sherwin-Williams. Ooh, I don't have anybody on LEN. I think that one was done with yesterday. Microsoft. Brian bought Microsoft at 214.84. It's 215.90, so up a little bit today, up a little bit on the trade, but nicely up on the day. Beyond Meat, Quad and Steve. Let's see, Quad took that one off. Steve bought at 132.79 yesterday with a 520 cross after earnings, down about 50 cents today, so that one's a little underwater. BRKB, Brian, beautiful trade at 190.49. We are at 205.31, so that is up beautifully. Billy, Quad and Kamal did buy Billy. I bought Billy also here at 43.51 back on the 31st. I think I got out here the next day when it rejected the 1ATR channel. This one's not participating, down 3% today, but it looks like both are still up on the trade. DRI, Bob bought DRI at 76.50. Initially went up yesterday, reversed back, but back up today, slightly positive on the trade for Bob on DRI. Costco, Glenn bought Costco, I think at the breakout at 330. It's at 343.25. Frank bought now at 426.32. And it is 427.24. So this one's not participating as much in the rally either today, but still slightly positive on the day. AMD, Brian bought AMD at $60 even. It is now 86.62, up 1.5%. XPO, oh, we got rid of XPO yesterday, didn't we? And Google, Kamal had a great trade on this. He did a bullish credit spread on the 4th of August. His stop was a close below the 50. The spread was a 1470, 1460. So it's up nicely today. Very, very nice. So I think that is it. Let me see. Frank says, I like TDOC. That's up 5%. We had that big bar down yesterday, rejected halfway. I like TDOC and LVGO. Hooking up. Brian says, what should the strategy be on dividend? There really is no strategy. I mean, per se, you just, and your charts will generally adjust for it as well, Brian. So you'll get the dividend and then your charts will adjust for the new price. So I really don't have a different strategy for trading dividends. It's just that, you know, you're going to buy something at 50 and the next day it's going to look like it's opening even at 49. I guess I would have to say I generally don't buy before dividends just because it is going to be a little more confusing the next day. But just remember that if you get $1 in dividend, it's going to come out of the stock price the next day. But your chart should adjust for it. And it shouldn't look any different. It's just the price will surprise you. Glenn says, hey, Greg, I'm still holding RBA and RCII. Oh, here was your name down here. There we go. Yeah, I went over this one. I don't have RCII. Okay. Remind me, Glenn, when we're done. Let me put this on here, but remind me. Let's see, do I have Glenn here? Oh, I do. Okay. I've got you. Steve says, Facebook chart today, what a move. Yeah, I have a friend that has Facebook, so he's having a good day. Unbelievable. Gary says, I got out of JCOM a few days ago, Greg. Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, I didn't see you yesterday, so I didn't do the update. All right, so it looks like David's the only one left in JCOM. Gary M says, Steve Burns, Facebook had news of a competitive app to TikTok and also censorship of the president. Steve Burns says, Facebook bullish after censoring Trump. Facebook citing virus misinformation deletes Trump post. Gary, I did not hear about TikTok. Gary and they released Reels to rival TikTok. Jeff Seed. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Can you check Fastly? Huge down today. Found some great support at EMA. Yeah, what's the symbol for Fastly, Jeff? Karen, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Brian, when a company pays out the dividend, the money doesn't belong to the company anymore, and therefore the value of the company is reduced by the total amount paid out, and hence the share price drop. That's correct. You can use dividend growth investing strategies, e.g., Google them, e.g., investing in the dividend aristocrats. Thank you for that, Karen. Hi, John. Good to see you. LVGO being acquired. LVGO. Okay. David, I was looking at FSLY, but I was thinking it could go to previous support. Okay, so that's the symbol for Fastly, right? FSLY. Yeah, That's, Jeff, we are right back in the value zone, which is a good place to buy. It's a little anticipatory to just buy it here without seeing it hold for a while. We are back in the value zone. We did reject the 50 RSI. But we're down 17% today. I think I'd like to see this move sideways, make sure I have some buyers coming in, and then look for only an entry, a long entry when I had a V1 or a V2. But this is a huge bar down. There was a lot of dumping of this stock. I think it'd be premature just to buy it. That's just my opinion. Steve says, nice ex-dividend explanation, Karen. I agree. Frank says, I think TDOC and LVGO, no position, will be powerful together. Oh, I see. Okay. Now I remember a headline. Now I remember. And Brian says, LVGO and Fastly is what I'm pondering. Okay. All right. Let me do a quick run over current positions. All right, Domino's okay. Stitch Fix did bounce off the 200. I don't like, though, that it's down on an up day. I'll have to consider this one at the end. SPY having a monster day. Gonna buy that at the close. Hold my nose and buy it at the close. Workday, unless this closes above the 50 and the 50 RSI, I will have to get out of workday. Adobe is having a fantastic day. Third profit target, is it possible? That would be amazing. FAS up today, but still not a profit target, but no need to change anything on this trade. And what's Apple doing? Up there at the 6 ATR channel. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, I tell you. All right. Well, listen. Before we switch over, take a look at the end of the day candidates. I want to switch gears real quick and talk about trader psychology, good trading words of wisdom, good trading tips. There's a lot of good Facebook channels, a lot of good Twitter channels out there that do a great job of posting each day with good information for us to learn how to trade better, about trader psychology. And one of my favorites is Julian Komar over on Twitter. Julian Komar at blog Julian Komar, professional trader. I believe he's in Hamburg, Germany, but he has really good posts. And let's take a look. 10 tips to improve your trading now. Use a stop loss, of course, right? You don't want to drive a car without brakes, and without trading without a stop loss is like driving a car without brakes. So for sure, determine what your maximum risk is and position size accordingly. If it hits your stop loss, you got to get out. Calculate position sizes, what I just mentioned. I use a 2 ATR, so I take my maximum loss, I divide the value of what the 2 ATR is based upon the day that I'm buying it. It measures volatility. I divide that value into my maximum loss. That tells me exactly how many shares to buy. So you have to calculate position size. If you always buy 300 shares of something, well, if volatility increases by double, it's like you're buying 600, right? If volatility reduces by half, it's only like buying 150. So I think it's a really good idea to use ATRs to position size, so you always standardize your position size based upon volatility. Number 3, use trailing stops. That's true. Whenever I have a stock that moves up a certain amount for my entry, it goes into trailing stop mode. I have my initial stop. If it moves up a certain amount, then it kicks into trailing stop mode. I don't want it to go way up and have to go all the way back down to my initial position size. So use a trailing stop. Ignore penny stocks. I agree. Penny stocks are very manipulated. You hear stories about people making a lot of money, but I honestly think you'd be better just trading something like very few shares of Apple than thousands of shares of penny stocks. I just think penny stocks, overall, you're going to lose unless you're a real professional. And penny stocks trade with the trend. Yeah, the trend's your friend, not fighting the trend. I have systems that are more trend trading than anything else. I do use deep dip buys when we get down to the 30 RSI, but that's good advice if just trading with the predominant trend. Ignore stocks under the 200 MA. Paul Tudor Jones will not buy a stock if it's under the 200-day moving average. And I think Glenn in the group, that's one of his filters. If something is under the 200-day, he's just not going to buy it. So I do buy under the 200-day moving average if I have a decent setup and a confluence. But as a general rule, yes, use a stock screener. Well, there you go. Well, we have our very own stock screener, and that's Kamal, and I'm very grateful for that. He coded up that program to look for confluences of indicators on multiple time frames, and I think it's very useful. So if you have access to a stock screener with criteria, you use it. Risk only 1% of your capital. Absolutely. If you risk 1% of your capital, you're probably going to do okay, even if you run into a bad drawdown. Back to the position sizing. If I have $100,000 and I risk 1% of my capital, that's $1,000. I take my $1,000, I divide into it what the value is of the 2 ATR, and that tells me how many shares to buy. If I go down, hit my emergency stop, then I've lost only that 1%. And it's not fun to lose 1%, but it's going to preserve your capital. Number 9, shut down news. I couldn't agree more. I rarely look at news during the trading day. I rarely do, because what it's going to do, it's going to have an effect on you following your plan. If you see a headline that changes your mind on something, right? I just think it's better shut that news off and start a trading journal. This is very good. I don't talk about this very often, but starting a trading journal, talking about the daily activities, whether you won or lost, and if you lost, maybe you could write down what maybe some of the mistakes you made. Sometimes you lose, you don't make any mistakes, right? But use a stop loss. Calculate position size, use a trailing stop, ignore penny stocks, trade with the trend, ignore stocks under the 200-day moving average, use a stock screener, risk only 1% of your capital per trade, shut down news, start a trading journal. This is a trading plan. See how many things go into a trading plan, and you need a trading plan. So this is Julian Komar at Blog Julian on Twitter. It's a great channel. I would suggest that you follow it. Thank you, Julian. Appreciate that. Kamal says, my short list is Google and DKNG. I don't think I have Google on here, but it did look pretty good. Glenn says, Fastly has support at 75. We'll follow Greg's advice and wait for Fastly to find support. Look to buy in the next 3-4 weeks, hopefully at 50. Yeah, it's right back in the value zone, right? That's great. It did bounce off the 50 RSI. That's also great. But you have to realize this bar looks this big, Glenn. It's not this big. This bar is this big because you have to account for the gap. This looks like a little bar. It's not. It closed here. Now it's here. This is how big of a down bar this is. So I just think as a general rule, it's not a good idea to try to buy right back against something that, it's down 17% today. So my best advice is wait for it to find some support, look for a V1 or a V2, or at least, the very least, just that it stopped going down. Brian says, I enjoyed your roundtable discussion last week where you mentioned how many shares to buy for each stock. Thanks for the posting. It was very informative. Oh, you're welcome, Brian. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a huge part. I think I said on that podcast, or maybe I was speaking with Chris before, but in my opinion, you only have control over two things: how many shares you're going to buy and when you buy. You can say, well, I can get out if I hit my stop loss. Well, you can, but look at Fastly. What about if your stop loss was right here? See how it ripped right down through it? So, more times than not, you're going to have control over it. But really, when you get down to brass tacks, the only thing you're really going to have control over how many shares and when you buy, and you really should adjust for your position size based upon volatility. Like I said, if you buy 100 shares back in January and you're buying 100 shares in March of this year, the March trade is like you were buying 300 or 400 shares, even though you're still buying 100, but volatility is increased by 4 times. But thank you, Brian. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Karen says, Steve, I recently listened to you and Michael Covell on his trend following podcast. It was a nice and funny episode. Enjoyed it a lot. Oh, very good. Yep, that's Michael Covell, the author and friend of Steve, and he's written many books on turtle trading and trend trading. Brian says, Kamal, I like Google. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's go down through. All right, so speaking of Google, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the price going down, finding support. It did bounce off the 51, 2, 3 days in a row. It's up 1.52% today. It's back in the value zone. It is above the 50 RSI. So that's all pretty good. Be interesting to see on such a big day how we're going to close. So we're up 167 points now. NASDAQ's up 105. Okay. So yeah, that one's a decent win. This makes it tough. We've made this bottom here. We do have a V2. We are at 50 RSI. We did reject the 100-day moving average. MACD crossed over. That is also positive. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly's okay. It's forming a little higher low here. Quite a lot of volume, so that one's a potential. REKR, well, we had a V2 here, but I don't like that we rejected this previous range over here. I don't like we're well off the high. It's $4 stock, so I'm going to take that one off the board. LVS, so it looks like the casino stocks are doing fine. I think this probably rejected the 70 RSI already. I mean the 50 RSI. No, 49.37. Well, of course, Wynn in Las Vegas, LVS, they're going to go together, It's a bullish engulfing bar. Let's see, Wynn is not a bullish engulfing bar. Home Depot, that's just too high for me. It looks like it did reject the 70. So I'm going to get rid of that one. HRC. I think we went under 30, over 30 on this one, possibly. Yep. Under 30, over 30, Hillenbrand Industries. On the weekly, that big bar gives me concern. This may have another day up. I mean, it is a false breakout down here. It's a V1. It's an under 30, over 30. But this, see, just this recent price action over here really concerns me. But we'll look. DKNG. I mean, we have come down, found some support here. We're so close to that 50 RSI. Did we get above the 50 RSI already? 49.63, so not quite. Let's look at the weekly. That's right, DraftKings doesn't have enough data for me. So with that being said, I am going to let that one go. Cisco, that one's a little too high for me. Of course, MGM is going to look very similar to the others. Ooh, that one's just that one's a little too big for me. It's over the over the second ATR channel. I mean, it's very, very strong. It's up 9% today, but I'm just going to have to let that one go. VCNX, I don't see anything here. Facebook, we talked about Facebook. Huge, big move, big volume, but just not a good risk to reward in my opinion there. I mean, it's a V1, nice V1, but it's at the third ATR channel. Remember, 90% or 92% of prices fail here. So I'm not going to use that one. NVR, it's a V1, but we're not in the value zone, so that one's a little too high for me. Netflix. Kamal and I were talking about this higher low V1 here with the rejection of the 1 ATR channel. That was the spot, huh? Do I want to buy it here? Probably not. SO, it's a V1, no sideways motion, so no on SO. American Towers, false breakout to the downside over here, but not a V1. Not a V1, so I don't see anything there. Work. I think Kamal already has work, but it did form a higher low, or yeah, a higher low V2 intraday, but it untriggered, so nothing there. EVRG, under 30, over, well, it's 30 exactly here. Under 30, over 30, that's it. That's not enough for me. And CLBK, Columbia Financials, under 30, over 30. Let's see. It was under 30 2 days ago. Close. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's better, and I have a feeling if I look at the intraday charts, yeah, see how there's no volume on this. So that definitely takes that off the board for me. All right, we have about 10 minutes. Let me take a quick look at current positions. Domino's is fine, is down a little bit. Stitch Fix, I'm very likely going to sell this today. SPY, took the overnight loss, buying that again at the close. Workday, I am going to sell this with the close under the 50 RSI. Adobe, great day today here. 2 profit targets, nothing I have to do with that. FAS is fine. Crossover still in place. VIX, I had the day trade on VIX. And Apple, slightly off of its high. Oh yeah. Well, now we're back in the value zone. So if I was looking for a day trade, this is where I'd look at to bounce, but I'm not going to be day trading that. So what I'm going to do real quick, I don't like stitch fix. So while I'm here thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead, just get rid of that. Okay, so that's gone there. And that is gone there. So I am at a stitch fix. I just don't like how it's down today. It just shows weak relative strength. So I am going to go ahead and take the loss on stitch fix today. And dominoes is fine. All right, now let's get over here. Google. All right, I do like Google. Well, Win is now under 50 RSI, so that definitely would take that off the board for me at the moment. LVS has a false breakout and a V2 on the weekly. A lot of volume coming in there today, that's for sure. Nice little base here. All right, looks like there's enough volume. Crossover on Win. Okay, so $8.55. All right, I like Google in Win today. I like Google and I like Win, but I'm going to wait and see if this is going to close over 50. So I'm going to go ahead and buy Google right now. All right, so I got Google, and I'm going to be watching Win to see if it closes over the 50 RSI. I am going to be selling Workday. Unless that can close over both, I don't know. We'll see. And I already sold Stitch Fix. So because of the new entries, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sell Workday right now. All right, Workday's gone. So I got rid of Stitch Fix. I got rid of Workday. And the only, and I did buy Google. And I'm looking at Win here. With the nice V2 MACD crossover, it's at 49.98. If it closes above 50 RSI, I'm going to buy it. If not, I'm going to pass. David, BRKB. Did it reject the 70? You mean BRKB? David? BRK. I put in BRK and I don't have anything. I think you meant BRKB. But it's at 75 RSI right now, so it didn't reject the 70. All right, Win, this is going to be a close call. It's struggling with that 50 RSI right now. I hope you heard that, David. I checked BRK. There is no BRK. I think, are you talking about BRKB? If I put in BRK, nothing shows up. All right, Win is just flirting with that 50 RSI, isn't it? So I'll just do my best here. Ah, shucks. It was 50.02 when I bought it. Oh, well, that's how it goes. And then right at the end there, it cut me out. So, all right, that's how it goes. I'll just have to deal with it tomorrow then. Sometimes that happens, you know. It's like right at a moving average or it's right at a RSI level. And just with a second to go, it had popped over 50. So what can I do, right? All right. So listen, if you have any new additions or subtractions to the board, please go ahead, put them in the chat now, and I will take a look, get them all updated. Real quick, I just do want to mention that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I really like to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I do teach a course, like I said, one-on-one. It's 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so a total of 15 hours. I teach you everything I've learned in all my experience in trading in 24 years, and also everything I've learned from my mentors and teachers like Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, and Larry Williams. And so in the course, I teach you everything that I've learned from these great traders and authors. It's an intense course. Like I said, there's 5 sessions, 3 hours each session. I think the best way to learn is one-on-one with a teacher, regardless whether it's guitar or stock trading or ice skating, right? So if you're interested in taking the course, I think you'll really enjoy it. I think when you're done with it, you'll be a much better trader and be able to trade in all sorts of different environments. And so if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do contact me, I'll write you back and say, hey, how's it going? Let's set up a Skype call. I'd like to learn more about you, your trading, your challenges, your goals. It's a good time for you to learn or ask me any questions about my course. And it is free and there's no sales pressure. I'm not even going to ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to have the conversation with you and then say, listen, think about it. You know, if you feel like you want to do it, contact me back and we'll get it set up. And then if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. If you just take a couple seconds and just hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe also, and even possibly share it on social media if you think it's valuable. So, okay, so let me take a look real quick over here. So I bought Google at 1504.15. I bought SPY at 334.33, and I did buy Win at 76.54. Okay, so Stitch Fix, I got out of, I'm going to put this over here because I don't know if anybody else did. SPY, I got in at 334.33 for the overnight SPY trade. Google, I got in at 1504.15. Okay. And when I got in at 76.54. Okay, like I said, I did get out of SFIX, and I also got out of WDAY with the close under the 50-day moving average and the 50 RSI. All right, so Domino's was down, but still okay. Google, I entered today. SPY, of course, overnight SPY trade. Win is the new entry. Adobe, big monster day up today. And FAS up nicely. But I did get out of WDAY and SFIX. Yeah, David, BRKB is 7506, so it did not reject the 70. David says, yes, in my is below the 70. Oh, interesting. I wonder, I think maybe for the adjustment for dividends, let me see if I do it this way. Oh, no change. Huh. I don't know why that is. I have 7506. So using 14 period in your RSI? Okay, so Glenn sold LCII. Okay, so Glenn sold LCII. And took profit on cent. Ooh, I think that's a good idea. Very nice, Glenn. Beautiful. Frank said sold now. All right, Frank sold now at 430.22. Okay. All right, Kamal got rid of the Google spreads. Made money on that, very nice. Billy. Kamal is out of Billy. And work. And work day. A lot of work names in there, huh? And Stitch Fix. Quad says, I'm out of Billy. All right. And out of WBA as well. All right, so Kamal has DK and G. All right. And Google, right. Gary was out of Johnson & Johnson yesterday. Okay. Brian says, bought Google. Okay. And you bought Netflix as well. Yeah, I definitely can see that. Little V1 there. Not bad. Kamal says, I did buy 2 times Google position. Okay. David says, yes, that was the issue. I had 20. Thanks. David in Google as well. Okay, so I got those all taken care of. So I still have David and Gary in Stitch Fix. And I still have David in JCOM. And we add a DKNG for Kamal. Evan says, Cisco, I closed yesterday. So feel free to delete it. Google is out of my price range. 1 share is bigger than 10% of my total capital. Gotcha. All right. I think that's why I had it on there, but the name wasn't there. I think because I already deleted it, but okay. Where did we end up? 185 points on the Dow, 109 points on the NASDAQ. Yeah. Yep. I took you off Johnson and Johnson, Gary. Man, Apple is unreal. I mean, unreal. I don't know if Brian's still there, but look at the price of Apple, $455.81. We have dividends tomorrow, so it pays 82 cents per 82 cents per share. You'll get that 82 cents per share, but most likely when Apple opens tomorrow, it will open 82 cents lower. It won't even look like it's lower. The charts will adjust for it, at least mine do. All right. So some nice moves there for everybody today. Amazon was up 19 points. I mean, up, but not quite as strong as the other ones. Gold still up. Wow. IWM slightly up on the day. All right. You're welcome, Bri. Yep, you're welcome. But make a note of the price right now on Apple, $455.81, and then tomorrow when it opens, see where it opens. I mean, if it opened exactly the same spot, theoretically it would be 82 cents lower. All right. Well, listen, if anybody has any other questions, this is the time. Otherwise, I'm going to put my hiking boots on, go for a nice hike. It's a beautiful day today, a little cooler, which is nice because it's been unbearably hot for my hikes, man. I feel like I'm just melting away as I go. Gary says, read an article today about GLD, feasible to go to 4,000 per ounce. Yeah, I've heard a lot of prices out there. 3,000 is the one I hear mostly, but I also hear 5,000. So if 3 or 5 is possible, 4 is possible as well. You're welcome, Kamal. All right, everybody, listen, have a good rest of your day. Go out, do something nice for somebody, just a smile or a wave, or just be pleasant. It'd be great if you could do a nice little gesture for one human being at least per day and one animal per day. That would be doubly as good if you could do them both. Thanks, Kamal. I will have a good hike. So hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Be good. Be safe. And congratulations on your positions today. All right, everybody. Take care. And if you could hit the thumbs up button, please do it. I would really appreciate it. And like I said, if you're have any interest at all in lessons with me, just contact me and we'll get that Skype call going. So thanks, Karen. Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day now. Talk to you soon. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.